Larry Hurtado, The Story of the Gods, Early Christians, Distinctiveness in the Romans world offers as compelling examinations of how early Christianity stood out in the context of the Roman Empire. In the first chapter, early Christians and Christianity in the eye of non-Christians, Hurtado explores how both Jewish and pagan observers reacted to the early Christian movement, highlighting the unique challenges and criticisms that these early believers faced. His work goes beyond the mere historical recounting, delving into the social, religious, and cultural factors that shaped early Christian identity and influenced the development of the Christian beliefs and practice. This discussion will explores the strength and weakness of Hurtado's analysis, evaluate each contribution to our understanding of the New Testament and early Christianity, and provide examples from the book to illustrate this point. One of the key strengths of the Hurtado's analysis is how effectively he highlights the distinctiveness of early Christianity. He shows that early Christians were seen as very different, even strengths in the eyes of the contemporaries. For example, Hurtado notes how pagan observers like Pliny the Younger referred to Christians as holding a perverse and extravagant super superstitions because of their refusal to worship Roman gods and their commitment to their own distinct practice. This example helps us understand why early Christians were often viewed with suspicions and hospitality, which emphasized the prejudice they face in the predominantly pagan society. Hurtado's use of the primary source is another strong point. He draws heavily on Jewish and pagan writings to support his argument. For instance, he quotes Tacitus, how described Christians as hateful for their abominations and followers of the deadly superstitions. In this analysis, by using Tacitus' account, Hurtado's shows that even by the time of the Nero, Christianity and already become the noticeable and controversial movement in Roman. This careful use of the primary sources adds significant weight to Hurtado's claims. Additionally, Hurtado's discussion of the Paul's particularly insightful. He traced Paul's journey from being a persecutor of the Christians to becoming one of their most passionate advocates. Hurtado links Paul's early zeal to the tradition of the Phineas, who was praised in Jewish history for his violent defense of the religious purity. Hurtado argues that Paul likely showed himself as acting in the spirit of Phineas when he initially persecuted persecute Christians, which help explain his directing actions against the early Jewish Jesus movement. Despite its strength, Hurtado's analysis does have some weaknesses. One is his narrow focus on Jewish opposition to early Christianity, while Hurtado's concentrates on the hostility. Some Jewish groups felt toward early Christians. He could have broadened his scope to include other Jewish responses. For example, while Hurtado's focus on Paul's initial opposition to Christians as an example of the Jewish hostility, there were also Jewish groups that were more indifferent or even curious about the Jewish movement, or more nuanced discussions that included these varying Jewish perspectives would have added depth to his analysis. Another potential weakness in Hurtado's emphasis on persecutions, while the focus on the persecution of Christians is important, it might overshadow other factors that contributed to Christianity's distinctiveness and growth. For instance, Hurtado frequently discusses the legal and social pressures Christians faced, such as threats from Roman authorities to force Christians to renounce their faith. While these are crucial aspects of the early Christian history, Hurtado could have also highlighted how Christian ethical teachings, such as love for honor one's neighbor and charity, played a role in attracting converts and distinguishing their movement from other religious options of the time. Finally, Hurtado's treatment of the pagan criticisms could be seen as somewhat simplistic. He effectively outlined pagan disdain for Christians, but he might underplay the complexity of pagan attitudes. For example, while he discusses Lucian's of Saposates' mockery of Christians as global and foolish in the death of the peregriners, he could have explored how some pagan might have been more curious about or even somewhat admiring of certain Christian practices, such as their care for the poor and sick. A more detailed exploration of these varied pagan attitudes would have enriched his analysis. Value of understanding the New Testament and early Christianity. Hurtado's work is invaluable for understanding the world in which the New Testament was written and early Christianity grew. By emphasizing the uniqueness of early Christianity and the challenges it faced, Hurtado helps us appreciate the resilience of the early Christians and the factors that lead to the movement's eventual success in the Roman Empire. For instance, Hurtado's discussion of how early Christians refused to participate in the Roman religious rituals, which often brought them into conflict with authorities, provide a backdrop for understanding New Testament calls for perseverance and faithfulness amidst persecutions. In conclusions, while Hurtado's book provides a compelling analysis of what made early Christianity distinctive and the challenges it faced, it would benefit from a more balanced discussion of the various factors that contributed to its growth and development. Nonetheless, this work remains a significant contribution to our understanding of the early Christian movement and the world in which it emerged.